Thanks, Gregor. Hey, Dylan. Just wondering if you can compare this 7-game slide with anything you've gone through before in your career, and in retrospect, what you'd maybe learned from it, or
Yeah, I think I don't know how many games of a losing streak I've had before, but I feel like I've had similar in regards to how many losses, and it's never easy. Each loss kind of hurts a little more, especially how especially last game. We felt we dominated that game, and we had a lot of power plays, a lot of looks, and goalie must have had a horseshoe in his equipment or something because he was just making some unbelievable saves, and we hit a few posts, and they get a look at the end and they score. So it's a tough time for our team. We don't want to be losing this many games at this stage of the season. Better, I guess, now than in a couple of weeks when it really matters the most. So, we obviously need to learn from it, and I think we are. And, it seems like every mistake right now that's happening is compounding and ending up in our net. And maybe that wasn't happening earlier in the year. Some things are self-inflicted. Some things have been out of our control, but, we have to stay together, stay positive. We have a pretty strong group. I think mentally guys have been around a long time, and that we don't need to deviate too much from our game plan. Just continue to do what we're doing, and our attention to detail has been a lot better in the last few games, and we'll live with the results as long as we put our best foot forward.
We'll go next to Ken Weaver from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Weaver.
Thanks, Gregor. Dylan, what has stood out about the 5-on-5 play? I mean, that's the area that's obviously improved the most since that 6-1 game.
Yeah, just I think we're I know guys were talking in the media about a little bit of cheat in our game. I don't think it's been there. We're staying with the game plan, even if we're down a goal, down 2 goals. We're playing detailed hockey, and that's what's it's gonna take to win. And especially in the playoffs, games are gonna be real tight. You got to be above pucks, you got to be hard, and you got to be really smart with your decision making. I think we've done a good job of noticing when we can attack off the rush, when something's not there, and not trying to force a play. That 6-1 loss to Edmonton, we think, was an anomaly in our play, and how we just fed their rush over and over again. And our forwards have done a really good job of tracking back, on the back check, and that's such a big part of eliminating time and space for us as defensemen, is keeping that gap. And our forwards working hard like that. So our goaltenders have been great, and we just got to find a way. And right now it's been tough, but we just got to stay together, continue to do what we do, and continue to believe in what we do. And I think that's going to go a long way in us turning this around and getting back into the win column.
We'll go next to Jeff Hamilton from the Winnipeg Free Press. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Dylan. Understanding that you don't make personnel decisions and that you're a teammate and you do what you're told, essentially. Kind of curious about how you feel about not really playing much with Josh this season. It's a topic that has, quite frankly, dominated conversations outside of the locker room. And people look at Dylan DeMelo and wonder why he's on a third pairing defenseman after signing a contract, thinking that this was kind of the guy that was bringing the defense all around. So I just kind of, we'll go to the guy who is the guy and ask you your take on it.
I'm not sure, obviously, why we haven't been together. I think it's been a little bit of a personnel thing. Playing with Stan, I think having a veteran on that pair with him has helped him. And, I think regardless, I think Stan would have been playing the same way, but I think having that safety valve, a guy that's been around a little bit on that pair, helps, just a comfort factor. Obviously I can't answer that question. I'm sure it's a question for coach, but for me, I've always just tried to focus on what I can control. And, any spot in the lineup, I just try to play the same way and bring my game. So I think I've done that even when I've, played with Mo a little bit. I think I've played my game, and, I've obviously had a bit of a revolving door with partners here, but I think my game has stayed true and stayed the same. And I think that's what it has to be, because at the end of the day, I can't control who I'm playing with or who my partner is. So I just try to do what I do. And I think it's been working for me. This year, I think I've been having a pretty good year. And it's definitely been a tough year with everything that's been going on, but I'm happy with how I've played, and just going to continue to do that.
Just a few more for Dylan. We'll go to Murat Atesh from The Athletic. Go ahead, Murat.
Thanks, Gregor. Hi, Dylan. You talk a lot about the process and how you're getting those back checks and the back pressure and things look good. And then you get those sort of bounces off a linesman or off a skate like that. I mean, you guys are the best at this, but even you, is there a here we go again feeling, and how do you battle against that?
Yeah, it takes the wind out of your sail for sure when you get a bad bounce like that, especially, last game. Holy moly, we could have had 5 or 6. And our power play looked real good working it around and, brought us so much momentum, even if they didn't score. So, we knew we're like, okay, we're right there, right there. And that one at the end, it's a bit of a backbreaker, but, we just, we just kind of have to laugh it off. At this point right now, it's just been, unfortunately, the way things have been going, and it's kind of a when it rains, it pours type feel. But, as much as it feels like that, it's not like that off the ice. I think guys have realized that, we put ourselves in pretty good positions here the last couple of games to pick some wins up, and it just hasn't been there. It's been very close. The margin of error has been, it's very small, especially this time of the year. So, obviously we're not making a joke of it, laughing at it in that way, but I think, we're just like, oh my gosh, well, it's got to turn eventually here for us. And the only way it's going to turn is if we continue to stay with our game plan and staying together. So, it's going to turn here for us sooner or later. We just have to continue with it.
And final question to Kelly Moore from CJOB. Go ahead, Kelly.
Hey, Dylan, not that I'm advocating that you have to completely change everything around, but you had mentioned that, you want to try to stay within yourself, but we also hear that there are times when, they're a desperate hockey club. Are you guys now a desperate hockey club and should be playing like one, or is it too early for that?
Well, I think we've been a desperate hockey club since maybe 2 or 3 games into this thing. I think, I feel like we've been playing like a desperate hockey team, and, it's definitely not a lack of effort. And, guys are working their tails off, and, that's definitely one thing that we can't fault is our work ethic. It's just minor mistakes right now that are compounding and end up in our net. And, I can look at every guy in the face and I can tell them that they've worked their butts off. And, coaching staff has worked really hard, and we've done everything we can to try to turn this around. And, right now, like I said, it's just 1 or 2 mistakes right now that end up in our net, and we're not able to capitalize on the few mistakes the other teams make. So that's just the way it's going for us right now. Doesn't mean it has to go like that forever, and I'm sure we're going to get out of this real soon.